Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation. Lance Barr, retired United States Navy, will now give the invocation.
Father in heaven, we are here today to honor two of our naval shipmates on the day of their commissioning and promotion. We are truly grateful for these men for the service to our country and to our Navy. We pray that as they go forward in their careers, that they're blessed and they're protected, as well as their families. As we leave this facility today, we pray that thy will protect us, that no harm or accident will befall us. And I say this in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Lieutenant Barr. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Family, friends, shipmates, welcome to the promotion and commissioning ceremonies of Commander Dale M. Griffin and Master at Arms Chief Petty Officer Timothy O. Mullins. I am Lieutenant Junior Grade Robert Stepp, and I will be serving as your Master of Ceremonies for today's ceremonies. The promotion and commissioning ceremonies you witness here today are a reflection of the rich heritage of our naval tradition. Customs has established that these ceremonies be impressive, although abbreviated due to COVID-19, designed to strengthen and respect for dedicated service, which is vital to any military organization. Today's ceremony will promote Commander Dale M. Griffith to Captain and commission Master at Arms Chief Petty Officer Timothy O. Mullins as Ensign as limited duty officers. In the Navy's early years, enlisted men who obtained commission status began at the bottom of the usual officer career and training path, ignoring the value of their prior enlisted service. By 1948, the Navy realized that it often lost critical skills and knowledge learned as enlisted men or warrant officers when such individuals were promoted to commission status in the line community. At this time in history, these Mustang officers were not competitive for promotion with other commissioned officers, either because of their lack of formal education or due to their age. To retain these technical skills and to provide a fair competitive position for officers promoted from the enlisted ranks, the limited duty officer program was established. The LDO community has envisioned a relatively small elite group and would retain the specialists required as enlisted men and warrant officers and support the line community during periods of shortages or when technological advances were required. LDOs are not to compete with the unrestricted line officers. The LDO program was expanded to include such selections as warrant officers to limited duty officer status. By 1960, the LDO structure reached a peak population of about 7,500 officers. In 1985, Congress lifted the 05 cap, authorizing LDO promotions to captain. The first LDO captain was promoted in 1986. As of 2020, there are over 40 captains in the LDO community and over 3,500 LDOs overall. LDOs serve as a vital member of the wardroom and are often the most experienced and trusted officers. Many complete the same qualifications as their unrestricted line counterparts. Surface LDOs drive ships. Aviation LDOs qualify as professional maintenance officers. Many serve in the fleet's most critical watch positions, such as officer of the deck, engineering, officer of the watch, or tactical action officer. Although intended primarily as technical specialists, LDOs may also serve as division officers, department heads, officers in charge, executive officers, and commanding officers, frequently serving in major commands. Generally, LDOs enjoy the same precedence and exercise the same authority as officers not restricted in the performance of their duties. Any LDO who is ordered as a CO or XO of a ship by the Chief of Naval Personnel is determined to be fully qualified and eligible to succeed command at sea under the provisions of the Navy regulations. Over the years, the duties and responsibilities, authority, and status of limited duty officers have grown from those of extraordinary enlisted men reluctantly admitted to the officer status by the Academy Elite. Today's highly trained and well-respected technical managers are men and women alike, essentially to the successful operations of modern naval forces. At this time, Lieutenant Michael Abbott, United States Navy retired, will now discharge Chief Petty Officer Timothy O. Mullins from the enlisted ranks. Attention to award. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Honorable discharge from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. This is to certify that Chief Petty Officer Timothy O. Mullins was honorably discharged from the United States Navy on the 10th day of October 2020. This certificate is awarded as a testimonial of honest and faithful service. Signed, R. W. Seeley, Commanding Officer, Navy Operational Support Center, Las Vegas, Nevada. Sir. Lieutenant Abbott and Lieutenant Barr will now remove the Chief's anchors from Mr. Mullins' uniform.
If I may, this is a special occasion, so if you want to take pictures, go ahead.
Yes.
Get close for
Come
pictures.
close.
Perfect picture, okay?
We're gonna go slow. The photos last forever, so please get up there and take photos.
Take as much photos as you
I'm
want.
And
videoing.
if you wanna stage the photo, that's good.
I'm.
There you go, Mr. Mullins. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so let's stand up front there, Mr. Nielsen. Thank you, Lieutenant Barr, Lieutenant Abbott. Commander Dale Griffith, United States Navy, will now administer the oath of office. Right, please.
There we go. Constitution. Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Attention to oath.
I state your name.
I, Timothy O. Mullins,
Having been appointed ensign in the United States Navy
having been appointed ensign in the United States Navy
under the conditions indicated
under the conditions indicated
in this document,
in this document,
do accept such appointment
do accept such appointment
and do solemnly swear
and do solemnly swear
that I will support or defend
that I will support or defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without mental reservation
without mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will
and that I will
and faithfully discharge
faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
which I am about to enter,
which I am about to enter,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Very good.
Ready to take photos? Put your hand up. Okay, take these off. Hope we know which one, right? Okay. Go ahead and come around and take photos.
Good, baby?
You can go any which way. Raise your hand. Little smile there. They're laser focused right through me. You scare me.
Okay.
Are you good? Any more? Good. So one-time shot.
Chief Petty Officer McGrew, United States Navy, and Chief Petty Officer Juarez, United States Navy, will now place ensign insignia on Ensign Mullins.
Do you want the mask? Do you want the mask?
Well, for continuity, I'm going to do that. We'll get a stage shot.
Do one with, one without.
One with, mass removal.
I'll take yours.
All right, mine's all. All right, will you all stage like you're putting them on?
Oh, gosh.
And with the caveat, please don't release on social media the ones
Without the
masks,
mask.
okay?
Please.
Until a couple years from now.
Until about 10 years now.
Until about November.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Commander Ed Jerome, United States Navy retired, will now place the officer's cover on Ensign Mullins.
Salute. Facing this way.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you the newest ensign in the United States Navy, Ensign Timmy of the
Oh, I'm videoing.
Your video. She's going all out. She's getting all the retakes and everything.
Oh, thanks, baby.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Commander Griffith will now welcome Ensign Mullins into the officers' ward. Just once you're done saluting each other. Ensign Mullins will now return his first salute as part of the silver dollar salute tradition. H.N. Mullins, United States Navy, front and center. It is an honored tradition, a brand new silver dollar to the first enlisted sailor who salutes a new officer. The exact origin of this custom is arguable, but probably began before the U.S. Armed Forces were organized. British regiments stationed in colonial America brought with them a number of customs and traditions that were retained by the newly formed American Armed Forces. One status symbol highly sought by newly commissioned British officers was to have a servant assigned to them. The servant was normally an enlisted sailor who was responsible for ensuring the officer's kit, dress, and field uniforms, and personnel equipment were serviceable at all times. The enlisted sailor was also responsible for teaching the officer the ship's history, traditions, and customs. This custom continued to grow within the British military and newly formed American units. In 1816, American second lieutenants received a monthly base pay of $25, a $3 ration allowance, and $1 for an enlisted advisor. This advisor's pay was later discontinued, but the responsibility for teaching newly commissioned officers continued. Present day tradition of giving a silver dollar for the first salute is sought to have its roots in this relationship.
You got it.
You can do it without the mask, and then you can pass it to her. We will now have some remarks by Ensign Mullins.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I'm not going to stand behind this podium too much. It's not really my thing. It's kind of a blockade. Thank you so much for being here. This is very, very special that everybody's here. It's just even more special. All the officers here are Mustangs. And that's fantastic. We would have had 300 strong here. That would have been beautiful, but it might have taken a little something away. So in this intimate setting, this is just fantastic. It is an absolute honor to have these two officers here. This is fantastic. And I want to thank Sue and Linda for saying yes and giving the green light to don their uniforms on. And they look fantastic. Yes, yeah, y'all fit right in. Y'all fit right in, absolutely. So thank you so much. And thank you to soon-to-be Captain Griffith. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you for being here and doing this combination ceremony. So I don't really want to bore you all with a whole lot of stuff, so I don't really have a long drawn-out speech or stuff that I actually did remember here. But since it's a smaller setting, then I can certainly be a little bit more personal. I want to first start off by saying thank you. There's Ray Orta. He's a retired petty officer. He's a large reason why. I mean, he kind of gave me my beginnings here, and his wife Anna. So thank you very much for coming. I would not be here if not for Ray Orta. So I really appreciate that. I want to thank going further to Rob. We were in the Marine Corps together. Fantastic. He tried to tell me to not join the Navy, but here I am anyway. So yeah, that worked out really good. Lieutenant Abbott, I remember him as Ensign Abbott. I worked with him for a couple of months, and I left for the police academy. I was back in 1999, and he was signing off on me to go to the academy, get a special request chit, and signing off for me to become a Master at Arms, to join that community. It looked like he had a lot of doubt. I told him the story. I tried to refresh his memory, but for me, it lived in infamy because here's this ensign. I didn't even know you could cross over in the Marine Corps. You can't really do stuff like that. So he signed in my special request chit on the bulkhead, and he said, "Okay, so you're leaving for the academy. You realize you can't be Master at Arms unless you graduate the academy." And I said, "Yes, sir. I understand that." And he goes to put pen on paper, and he goes, "You hear me, right? If you don't graduate the academy, you can't be a Master at Arms." And I said, "Yes, sir." And then he goes, "Are you sure?" "You're absolutely sure." And I said, "Yes, sir." And he was so stoic, he really meant that. Like there was an element of, hey, maybe you won't make it. Maybe you won't actually make it. Yeah, so, but just seeing him for the first time, I was pretty well awestruck. Then going to soon to be Captain Griffith. When I saw him, he was an ensign. It was back in the year 2000. It was right here in this drill hall, right over here against that bulkhead, or kind of in that general area. I remember watching that. And that was fantastic. I actually got to watch the ceremony, and I was seated right over here. I mean, I was in the Navy for such a short period of time, really, but getting to watch that was like our son. I knew that's exactly what I wanted to do throughout my career. That was going to be my goal. So I'm happy to be here and walking those footsteps 20 years later. That's wonderful. I got Lieutenant Stepp here, fantastic. I really appreciate him flying in from Tennessee. He was my LPO, and then I took over for him, and he has been an absolutely fantastic mentor. Since then, he has always answered my phone calls or returned my phone calls, and as annoying as I've been, as an LPO and whatnot, he's still always been there for me, so he's wonderful, and his brother, who can't be here today. Ernie McGrew, Chief McGrew, he has been my hands-on mentor. So he ran me through the season, and he was my sponsor, and just a fantastic person. And his wife and his daughter, thank you so much for being here. Chief Juarez, I went through the season with him. He's a fantastic human being. He has such a beautiful, beautiful heart. Thank you, Erica, for being here, and your daughter. She's going to be our future Navy. She's going to, at some point, I believe she's going to be a commissioned officer. The Bohannon, thank you for coming. Great friends. Another future sailor, I hope, and maybe the other son. Am I getting everybody? My daughter, another future officer, hopefully a chief. My two boys, my strapping boys, they look fantastic. And let's see, how could I forget the CO in the middle of the room? Yes, CO in the middle. A lot of late nights that I got to spend with him as he helped me out with my paperwork and putting my stuff together, but not just that. Mentorship throughout as being an aspiring first class into chief. An officer. We've had a lot of long, great conversations, and he's given me tremendous guidance. So another person that I could not be here today if he didn't lend me his helping hand. So thank you very much, sir. Mom and sister, thank you very much for coming. Wish Dad was here. And last but not least, my wife. Thank you so much for everything that you do, all the support that you give, and
Putting up with you.
Certainly, absolutely, and putting up with me, difficult that can be, the pill that I can be. I don't see that stopping anytime soon. Maybe another 16
I know
years.
what I signed up for.
Maybe so.
She's
Yeah.
an admiral now.
Yeah, she's the admiral, yeah. Okay, so I thank you again, I thank you, and gentlemen, again, thank you so much for being here and being a part of this. I sincerely appreciate it, and I'll remember that forever. It's 5 LDOs, as was stated here during the MC speech, and it's a privilege that we have all 5 here. Hopefully in 5 years, or 10 years, or 20 years, we have every LDO here, and maybe even 50 years, we'll all still be kicking it out here. And hopefully still fit our uniforms too. Okay, thank you very much.
At this time, we will commence with the promotion of Command Griffith to Captain. Ensign Mullins will administer the oath of office.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me, sir.
I state your name.
I, Dale Griffith,
Do solemnly reaffirm
do solemnly reaffirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
That I will continue to bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution
and I will continue to bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution
and the country whose course it directs,
and the country that its course does direct,
and that I take this obligation freely
and that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations.
without any mental reservations.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you, sir.
Let's get some.
Oh, yes, photo ops.
You sure you can get up?
No mask?
Whenever you're ready, no matter.
No mask.
Sir, hands in with it. You get the commander's off, I'll just take those.
It's pretty heavy.
We will now have some remarks by Captain Griffith.
Well, Rob, you did a very good job on the history of the LDO. That was half my speech.
Thank you, sir.
Leading from the front, like always. Welcome. This is a special event today in support of Chief Timothy Mullins' commissioning. I'll provide a little bit of history of the LDO. Like you said, the program started in 1948. A security officer designator 6495 must possess the knowledge and expertise in anti-terrorism, force protection, physical security, and law enforcement. Applicants must have demonstrated the ability to plan, organize, implement required security measures in the defense of vessels, installations, or protection of high-value assets. The strongest applicant will have demonstrated exceptional ability to lead. In 2000, there were only 20 security officers in the reserves. Following the tragic events of 9/11, the military increased the focus on force protection and anti-terrorism. The military increased the focus on the force protection, and our ranks grew from 20 to today's level of 165 security officers and 5,000 MAs, or Master Arms. Our mission is to support the warfighting capability and the readiness of naval forces through leadership, technical proficiency, and experience, utilizing critical enlisted experience while being committed to continuous leadership improvement, training, and mentorship of our sailors. Let's travel back to 1999, when NOS Las Vegas was on Sahara Avenue. Our command post was in a broom closet. Our command center was a little larger than a phone booth. Chief Abbott, now Lieutenant Abbott retired, was our pathfinder. He was the first Las Vegas security officer to be commissioned. The following year, ME1 Lance, now Lieutenant Lance Barr, retired, and his wife, Sue, led us to our commissioning in 2000. Fast forward to 2016, and ME1 Step and his wife were commissioned. And now today we celebrate Timothy Mullins and his wife Valerie's commissioning. There's a long history here. Those that were commissioned here are in the room. We're going to get a photo. We're going to send it out to the fleet. Thanks to your guidance as basically Las Vegas godfather of the security community. Thank you. A security officer must work as a team. Our wives have supported us by covering down on the home front for days, weeks, years, as we trained, deployed, and operated. Our success as a naval officer is a team effort, and it only can be accomplished by the support of our spouses. There are many times when appliances would break down, the children were sick, and the dreaded smoke detector would chime in the middle of the night. We're thankful for our spouse's strength, tireless efforts, and we could not have completed the mission without you. Let's give a round of applause for ourselves.
Uh-oh.
Tim, you have displayed many attributes that will show your success. You are capable. You are always fully qualified. You are willing. You're a volunteer for the hardest jobs, and you'll seek out leadership positions. You are a communicator. You express your intent and vision, and you are a planner. You will not travel your new adventure alone. You will join a team of 165 brothers and sisters, and collectively we will succeed. Congratulations. Let it be known, I found my replacement, Ensign Timothy Mullins. Bravo Zulu shipmate, and a job well done.
Newly commissioned officers have traditionally held wedding down parties. The wedding down party was once quite a rough and tumble affair. It was the custom for the officer to wear his new uniform of stripes and for the first time at the wedding down. The guest would then proceed to christen the uniform, the occupant, and the commission with whatever refreshments were available, paid for by the victim. Over the years, however, the Navy's life has become calmer. The price of gold braids has skyrocketed, and a literal christening is no longer condoned. Invited guests are welcome to join Ensign Mullins, his family, and friends for an after-ceremony gathering at the Texas D. Brazil, located at Town Square at 6533 South Las Vegas Boulevard, immediately following the conclusion of today's event. Before we cut the cake, I too want to say, ladies and gentlemen, you've been a part of a special moment in history here at NOS Las Vegas. Since 1998, there have only been 4 LDOs commissioned out of NOS Las Vegas. Today, Ensign Mullins becomes the 5th. All 5 LDOs are present and are participating in today's ceremony. Captain Griffith, Lieutenant Abbott, Lieutenant Barr, and I are honored to have Ensign Mullins as part of this group. At this time, we'll have Captain Griffith and Ensign Mullins step over here to cut the cake. And once the cake is cut, this will conclude today's promotion and commissioning ceremony.
please come forward after that. So please come around for pictures, especially from this side. This side is probably the best angle.
You want to turn it the other way or no? You want to turn it the other way? Is that good?
Turn the other way, then I'm going the other way. You wanna go this way?
No, stay there. Not the gate. That's right, stab the tablecloth. That's right, I went through it.
Best way to cut a cake.
They're ruining my whole decor. Where are they registered?
I know. Oh, look at the cute couple. Just kidding.
Sir, you can look up.
That's the best way to cut a cake. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm videoing.
You guys please look up.
Don't cut your fingers.
Mayhem.
Yeah, mayhem.
Let's turn it this way, real quick. There you go.
I knew it was
okay.
a disaster. He's still back.
It's a, oh, look at that.
Well, here, let me get rid of the chill.
It's fine. It's COVID season.
It's COVID related.
Here, one more time.
Can you get the bride? Yes. Like, great.
Which one's the bride?